Hey, good afternoon from cold and snowy Boston. Although it's cold, although it's snowy, it's glad to be home. Getting ready for Hanukkah and the festivities. We have lots of things going on at the square, at Shaw's, at the shops to bring the light and the warmth of Hanukkah to everyone. You know, this week's Torah portion is the portion of Miketz. And in the portion of Miketz, we read the story of Joseph meeting his brothers. After they sold Joseph into slavery. Joseph becomes the viceroy of Egypt. And then the hunger takes in, and Jacob is back in Canaan, in Israel, and the family's hungry, and he sends his children down. And Joseph finally comes face to face with the children, with the brothers. And it says, Vayakar Yosef es Echav. Joseph recognized his brothers, V'heim lo yikru, but they did not recognize him. The simple meaning is, Joseph, when he left, was 17 years old, 22 years away. He grew a beard, his facial disposition changed. He looked differently. They couldn't recognize him. But when Joseph left his brothers, they were already adults, so he was able to recognize them. But on a deeper meaning, the rabbis tell us, and Rashi brings it down from the Talmud, that when the brothers came to Joseph, he recognized them, even though he was the viceroy of Egypt, and he could have hurt them, he could have punished them. But his compassion for them overtook it, because he recognized that they were his brothers. At the end of the day, after all they did, after everything that had transpired between Joseph and his brothers, when the time came and Joseph was in control, he recognized his brothers. But V'heim, they didn't recognize him. When Joseph begged his brothers and pleaded with them that they shouldn't throw him into the pit, that they shouldn't sell him into slavery, they didn't remember that he was their brother. They didn't arouse compassion and protect him and change what they wanted to do. It's a powerful lesson for us in our lives. Sometimes we forget to recognize who our brothers and sisters are. And although sometimes it's imperfect, and they did things to hurt us, they did things that caused us pain, Joseph teaches us the powerful lesson of forgiveness. That when it comes to the moment when Joseph had every right and opportunity to take revenge, he recognized at the end that they were his brothers. And he let his compassion and his empathy overtake him, and he didn't hurt them. You know, when I was in South Africa this past Shabbat in Cape Town, it was interesting because first I was walking out of Shul, and this lady stops me, and she says, "Is this Rabbi Mendy from Boston?" And I said, "Yes." And of course she reminds me that she was at a bat mitzvah in Shul just in June, and I know who she is, of course, but I didn't recognize her. I see so many people, and she was dressed differently than when I saw her last, but she recognized me because of my beard, my kippah, and being in Shul. But then we spent Shabbos together. We sang song Shabbos day. We had a farbrengen, a Sheva brachas, and then we went home. We lied down, took a nap for half an hour, and then I decided the last 2 hours I'm going to walk down to the beach. I walked myself, and I said I'll watch the sunset and walk up and down the beach. I'm walking down the beach and I bump into two of the other people who were there for the wedding. One is the Chabad rabbi in Oklahoma City, and the other is the Chabad rabbi at the University of Cape Town. So he was local. And we end up chatting. We're chatting for half an hour, 40 minutes. The weather's beautiful. We're watching the sun as it's slowly setting. And then these two women, an older woman and a younger woman, are walking together. And one of them turns. She doesn't want to disturb us. And she says, "Is that Rabbi Mendy?" I said, "Yes." "She's from Boston, right?" I said, "Yes." And she says, "Oh my gosh, who is it?" So a woman, her name is Colleen Siegel. Colleen's husband, Charles, and her lived here in Boston when we first moved. In fact, he taught Mushki for a while how to play piano. He was a tremendous, world-renowned pianist. And unfortunately, he passed away this year. His wife moved away to California. But how did they recognize me? The daughter who was walking with us said, "You know, I heard you talking to your friends, and I recognized that voice because my mother listens to your YouTube and Facebook lives every day, And I hear the voice sometimes in the background. And I thought of this, and I thought, sometimes I say, should I do another Dvar Torah, should I not? And here I am, in the beach in Cape Town, sitting with 2 other rabbis, discussing Hanukkah, Judaism, spirituality, and I meet a lady that I haven't seen in 10 years, that used to live here, that listens to the Dvar Torahs, and her daughter recognized me from the voice on those Dvar Torahs. In any case, we have to always be able to recognize our brothers and sisters and to have empathy for them and to remember that they are our brothers and sisters. That's what Joseph teaches us. It turns out that we stayed there till the end of Shabbos, and another group of people from California came over, and then a bunch of young teenagers who were visiting from Johannesburg, and I ended up walking back with them. It was really a beautiful, special thing to remember. But it taught me a lesson about always being cognizant and recognizing and seeing the things, and also the empathy, and remembering who our brothers and sisters are. Have a great day.